Go ahead. Is Instagram live? Yeah, it's good.
Thumbs up when you're ready for me to do the intro.
Jim, go ahead. Wait, Joe, check how many people are in. How many? Is it time for the intro yet?
Nah.
Is YouTube live?
So it's live, Instagram is live.
Okay, go ahead, Joe. Do the intro.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Domenicricc Show.
Guys, what's going on? Today is a special event. I'm sure if you follow my socials, you saw the topic and questions. But before we get into that, today I'm going to go over something special on my wall and why I have it. So I'm streaming on TikTok as well. Keep in mind, because I have to TikTok is causing me some issues, so I have to stream like this. Unfortunately, it is what it is. It's okay. So today, it's about why I have this book up here. Choose your enemies wisely. I'm not selling anything, guys. I look up to this man, Patrick David. That's who the book was written by. More than most men in the world, he's one of the men that I look up to the most, like I just said, compared to my father up there. But this book really, it hits home for me. It kind of, I would say it's kind of like self-explanatory in the title too. Choose your enemies wisely. So I used to live my life, a different way, not like this. I was put it like this, a troublemaker, if you want to say. Yeah, just, not a great kid. So as years went on, in my childhood, I I developed into this public perception, I would say, of not notorious, infamous, almost that word, I would say. So all in all, people still think of me, which helps me, by the way, helps my mind. I use it as fuel. Therefore, choose your enemies wisely. So still to this day, I think about, the life I used to live, and that kind of keeps me very grateful because, I compare it to my days now to what my days used to look like. And, that is something that is actually, very, very crucial for me because, like I said, you guys know this Dominic, which is the Dominic who is trying to make a difference in the world. I used to live my life for really only myself, guys. I was a very selfish person at one point. That was when I was younger and very immature. And I feel I had to go through certain things to get to where I am. So, that is basically a summary of this book, Choose Your Enemies Wisely. So people still, I kind of use it for self-fuel, if you know what I'm saying. So I don't care what anyone thinks about me, but I want to prove myself. I want to prove myself. That's probably the best way to say it. For myself, to the world, for God. Um, yeah, guys. So that's why I have this book up here. These are one of the books that absolutely changed my life. Okay. So I'm going to pass it over to the co-host, Joe. Let me show TikTok as well. Joe?
All right, we have chosen 3 questions for today. For question number 1, we have Jody.
All right. So, Joe, you can lift the laptop. So, guys, this was a video sent in from Jody. So first, let's read the topic and the question so you guys could kind of be on the same page if you didn't if you happen to not come across my post on social media, okay? Which is not a problem, of course, but just going forward, you guys could even email me through YouTube or send it to my social handles, okay? Let me sign in so I can read the topic and the questions. Okay, so topic. Joe. All right, Joe, are you ready?
Let's go.
Okay, guys. So for you who missed it, let me just go to the topic. So sorry. Okay, so basically, topic: how is your relationship with food holding you back from the life you actually want? That's the topic, and then I put some more specific questions. What specific areas of your life are being affected? Are you struggling with energy, confidence, relationship, or work performance? And what do you think food is really doing for you emotionally? And the other detailed question, no, so sorry. That was the one detailed question and the topic. So basically, let's play Jody's video, guys. Joe, is it showing on screen?
Yes, it is.
All right, let's see it. You might have to put up the vote.
Out of all these snacks, and I have a lot here, I wanted to know which one would be the most beneficial. Well, in regards to me not putting on weight if I eat it every day, and also not feeling guilty that I'm putting a lot of junk in my body. So I have the dark chocolate, which is high in antioxidants, but 2 pieces, 11 grams of fat, so probably not the greatest I know for every day. And same with the 2 pieces of chocolate, dark chocolate. The all apple dehydrated fruit is 0 grams of fat, 10 grams of sugar. The apple chips could be kind of high, I know, in fat, but I figured they're better than these original Cape Cod ones with sea salt, which is about 8 grams of fat in a 1 ounce bag. The apple chips, this whole 2.5 ounce, is 12 grams of fat. The dark chocolate covered rice cakes, 4 grams of fat per one, but I would just have one a day. The little snack mix, which is 3.5 grams of fat. The drizzle cakes, which is one of my favorites, but I know they're high in sugar. And the plantains are 8 grams of fat for a 1 ounce bag. So which is the best snack? The best daily snack?
Fantastic.
Okay,
Joe,
let me know.
you can close the laptop, please. Wow. First, I just want to say, Jody. Joe, you got it? All right. Thank you. Jody, thank you very much for sending in this video. And I also do want to say, what a fantastic video. You should think about, honestly, like start making content, maybe. Seriously, fantastic video. Like the way you broke everything down. First, I just want to start here. Besides the fact, be proud of yourself because you're choosing to make a difference in your life. Guys, doing what Jody did today or whoever else, whichever other questions I should say that I selected, be proud of yourself. That is a first step, or it is a bump in the road. Either way, it's the same thing. Okay. Either way, it doesn't matter because if it's a bump in the road, what are you gonna do? Quit? Give up? No, you get back up right from where you were. Okay, so that's where I want to start. Give yourself credit, guys, for even being a part of this. And excuse the momentary. I am going to ask my co-host to please give me my coffee. Please, if you do not mind, Joe, right over there. It's right there. Thank you. Thank you.
Morning, everybody.
Thank you, Joe.
Of course.
All right, guys, let's get into this video a little bit. So first, I want to say off the bat, having cravings for food or snacking, whatever it is, please understand that it is perfectly normal. But what the difference marker is the snacks that you're choosing to consume. Because keep in mind, guys, you can go overboard with any food. Okay. And yeah, so I'm gonna specifically talk to Jody because she sent the question. So that's what you have to keep in your mind. So, yes, of course, we want to be as healthy as possible, but just keep in mind you can be in a deficit with whatever, with whichever food. So, I'm going to say something, but do not do it. Please do not do it. So, for example, if somebody was in 2000 calorie diet and that was a deficit for them, and the only thing they were consuming was McDonald's for 2 months, okay? But they stuck to their calories for the entire 2 months, guys. Will they lose weight? Yeah. Yes, they will. So I just want you to understand that for an understanding of the importance of being in a deficit and consistency. So one of the first questions was out of all of the snacks being shown, which one can be consumed on a daily basis? So from what I saw, I would say the rice cakes. Not those specific ones, but put that to the side because I love seeing this because to me, it's like this is Jody trying to be healthier. This is Jody making substitutions, getting the Drizzlicious rice cakes is what I saw, and then one other style dark chocolate fully covered rice cakes. So I just want to say one snack out of what I saw that I would keep are rice cakes, but not those. The ones I'm talking about are different brand. I'll get into that. If you guys want to message me anyway. So for Jody, same thing though. So Jody's not me. So I would keep rice cakes in for the most part. The Drizzlicious, maybe look at the calories on those because I think those aren't the most macro friendly, for a diet. It depends on the person, like I say. But out of all of those, the rice cakes, so to get even more specific, yeah, like I said, rice cakes, guys, I used rice cakes literally throughout my entire 5 month show prep. Joe, do you remember that?
I do.
Yes, guys. So I have kind of PTSD from them. That's kind of a joke though, but they honestly did bring me to exactly where I had to be for the cut. I mean, I went a little bit overboard. That's another story. I could get into that whole nother episode. So notice how Jody also said she doesn't want to feel guilty about putting junk into her body. Okay. So that is something that many people deal with. Yes, because it's psychological as well. And that is going to bring me to the next video. Not yet, but that is a part of the next video. Yeah. So it's, you have to, Jody, try to think like this. Understand, like I say, that there's a starting point for every single person in the world. There's a starting point for every building that has been built. There's a starting point for every drop of water that turned into a lake. There's a starting point everywhere, and there's also bumps in the roads. So you have to understand throughout this process, you're making progress. So this is something that is kind of between you and yourself, feeling guilty about, snacking, making, eating certain snacks. I would say that's really between you and yourself. And also keep in mind, balance is key. So you don't have to really take things out. Like, for example, let's get into the dark chocolate, okay? So you said they have a little bit of antioxidants, but it's high fat. So for a diet, for me personally, I would not consume dark chocolate because I know myself, and believe it or not, I think that would lead to me eventually going overboard if I included that in a part of my diet. Maybe not at this point of where I am, but definitely in the beginning, definitely when I first started. So try to understand, Jody, what I'm saying. Okay, so through this whole process, as the dieting goes on, it's gonna get easier and easier, and you're gonna be able to, you know, make substitutions and really get past those mental hurdles that come with feeling guilty. If you cheat one day, you feel ashamed, whatever it is. So another thing you can do what I would recommend is stick to the logic I use in dieting and what most people use, not only me, most people. low calorie, high volume. Therefore, if you do this, it will help you from feeling guilty because you can only have snacks in your pantry that are what I'm saying, low calorie, high volume. Okay. For most, you could have most of your pantry filled with that. So if it ever comes one night when, you wake up hungry throughout the night and, you want to snack on something, you won't feel as guilty in the morning. So you can start somewhere there. But keep in mind, too, balance is key. Okay. So if you want to keep in the dark chocolate, eat it mindfully, pay attention to what you're consuming, track it, weigh it, know the calories if you want to keep it a part of the diet. I would not. Something else I would take out are the chips, guys, especially the Cape Cod chips. And also, yeah. So this is something else that I have actually seen. Hold on, guys. There's one little interruption. Yes. Huh? What happened? The video's upside down. No, okay. So sorry guys for the interruption. All right. So what I was gonna say, apple chips. So they might appear healthy. Guys, hold on one second. All right, no, someone's showing me. It's okay. All right. Guys, let me take a look at the camera real quick. I'm so sorry. Maybe don't start it up again. Start the YouTube up again.
Keep it.
How do you turn
I said just keep it up once.
it? Set it back up, right?
Yep.
Set it back up. Here. It has to be recorded on the side though. All right, guys, I'm so sorry for that. So YouTube, we're trying to record it on the side. YouTube's supposed to be it's supposed to be recorded horizontally. I'm so sorry, forgive it, but for some reason on YouTube Live, it is not showing it. I don't know why. It's okay. So for now, this video will be horizontal. Joe, it's just not showing the bottom of the desk, right? On YouTube, Joe? No? Let me still talk about the video. Yeah, so Joe, just make sure it's not showing, the bottom of the desk, please. So yeah, let me get into the apple chips now. Things like that can appear healthy, but guess what? I wouldn't even doubt it if those chips were higher calories than the Cape Cod. So if I was you, for the most part, I would really keep chips out, guys. Or I should say Jody. I'm talking to Jody. So that's what I would do because especially I'm thinking about myself when I first started. Okay. Imagine if I'm always walking by Cape Cod chips or even things that could trick you, like these all apple chips, which are really high in calories, but because it's apple, people think it's healthy. So are there healthy ingredients in there? Possibly, maybe, yes. But next, what I want to say for Jody is you don't maybe have to cut them out yet. What you could do is switch to the baked options, okay? Which is a little bit healthier, probably less fat, and also I would say probably less calories, but keep an eye on the calories for the most part. But once again, Jody, this is fantastic. This is what I love to see because you're wondering about something that affects your life and you want to make a change, and this is the way to go about it. So, once again, thank you so much for sending this in, and we're going to go on to the next one. Joe, are you ready?
Yep.
Let's go to the second video. Joe, who is the second video?
All right. Second video for the second question, we have Alicia.
All right. Ready?
Uh,
Joe, is it playing on the MacBook?
It is currently loading. Okay.
Still loading?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Having a lot of technical difficulties. Do not. Oh, here it goes. Oh, it was just playing. Joe, can you see it like that?
Hi guys, my name is Alicia. I've been on a fitness
How about like
journey
this?
for 8 months and
Is it better?
Much better.
All right.
it's
Oh, hold on. Let me go back. Sorry, Alicia. Hold on, guys. A lot of technical difficulties. Do not mind it. YouTube, it will be horizontal next time. Forgive it. I'm so sorry. Still figuring this out, guys. This is my second official live show, okay? All right. Let's see, Joe. Ready?
Yep.
Hi guys, my name is Alicia. I've been on a fitness journey for 8 months and here I am. It's been a wild ride. But I did realize one thing on this fitness journey about myself, and that's
Joe,
that I was emotionally eating. You know, I'd have a long day, I'd be stressed out, I'd think about something that upset me. Boom. Like
Oh,
I'd
sorry.
be
Oh, what happened, Joe?
Oh, dude, just cut it out.
Hold on, guy. Oh, man. A lot of tech.
handle
Here we go.
emotional eating.
We're good.
Like from food. Like if I'm upset, I'm not going near the fridge. If I
Hold on, guy. Stay with me.
well,
Stay with me. Guys, it's all right. Hey, we're just getting started. I want to hear her full question.
Hi guys, my name is Alicia. I've been on a fitness journey for 8 months and here I am. It's been a wild ride. But I did realize one thing on this fitness journey about myself, and that's that I was emotionally eating. You know, I'd have a long day, I'd be stressed out, I'd think about something that upset me. Boom. Like I'd be painting an ice cream, not even thinking twice. So I guess my question is what is the best way to handle emotional eating? Like for me personally, I've completely disconnected my emotions from food. Like if I'm upset, I'm not going near the fridge. If I go for a walk. Like if I'm upset, I'm going for a walk.
Fantastic.
Or working out. Or I'm doing something that makes me feel good. I don't reach for the fridge handle. But in the beginning of my fitness journey, I went from a pint of ice cream, and then I started going to low calorie foods or like fruits, vegetables, anything healthy, stress eating that, which is probably more like binge eating, whatever you want to call it. And then I started going for walks. So I guess I'm just curious what you think is the best way for people to handle their emotional eating.
Fantastic question, Alicia. Joe, you could close the laptop, please. Joe, you could close. Thank you. Joe, you got it? Huh?
We're good.
What happened?
I think it looks good with the laptop up.
Oh, yeah?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Joe. You can open it. All right, guys. So, Alicia, first, I just want to say congratulations. 8 months. You look fantastic. I could tell. Because yeah, so she sent this to me on Instagram, guys. I'm so sorry. I forgot where. It was on Instagram. So I kind of saw through her journey too. She looks fantastic. So, Alicia, what a beautiful example you have been to people in general in my comments and just, the person you are. Keep doing what you're doing. So you kind of answered your own question, which is amazing to hear. You figured it out. You basically substituted what you were coping with. So, yeah, and that is a very big aspect for me as well. Because what emotional eating does, that's basically the base of this question. Emotional eating, that's basically, it's no different than, a drug addiction in a way. Okay, let's just put that to the side though. All right. So it's seeking for instant gratification. That's what emotional eating really is. And once you understand, like Alicia did, she figured out that dopamine released to the brain, guys, it should be worked for. Okay. That is how you'll feel good about yourself. You'll feel like you accomplished something. And yeah, it's kind of self-explanatory. So I could break down, I could give some other examples. Instant gratification, okay? Maybe, I don't know, watching the P word constantly, instant gratification. Constantly eating junk food, instant gratification. Laying down on the couch because it feels good and watching TV all day. Comfort, 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 instant dopamine hits. Guys, that's not a good way to live life. And then it goes from one thing to another. And before you know it, it's affecting your entire life. Okay. So, Alicia, you did exactly what I would say. Start implementing challenging tasks. Start working for the dopamine. Actually, think about what I'm saying. Okay. Dopamine should be released to the brain by working for something hard. That is how you should earn the feeling of pleasure after a challenging task is completed or a goal, for example, of some sort. Like, for example, me, I'll give you myself. I just did my first bodybuilding show and I didn't win, but do I regret it? No. Do I have any regrets at all? No, I don't, because I gave it everything I have. I put everything into it. So that released natural dopamine. Guys, I've been saying it for about 2 years. I was gonna do the show. No, probably a year and a half. And guess what? I finally did it, and I loved it. I loved the process. I know what I did wrong. Anyway, look, I'm going into a whole nother subject, Joe. I gotta weave back. So basically, that's my point, Alicia. What you did is what I would recommend. So maybe I would, if I was someone dealing with what Alicia is talking about, sign yourself up for, I don't know, a marathon, a half marathon. Set your mind to a goal. So then it'll be implemented in your life. You'll start paying attention to what you're eating. You'll start making sure that you're running a certain amount of time so you're ready. You will, I don't know, start making sure you're consuming the right carbs to give you the right energy. Okay. So that's just one example of something that you can do, guys. So if it's not that, keep it simple. Like Alicia, go outside, go for a walk, go for a jog. Something different than finding instant pleasure the easy way. That's how I used to live my life. The old Dominic that I was talking about, the guy from this book, when I used to, before that Dominic, Joe, you know what I'm trying to say, right? Before I started talking about this book, that Dominic, that is how I used to live my life. Instant gratification. Okay. So eventually I matured, time went on, and my whole mindset shifted, guys. Anyway, this is not about me. I'm just using it as an example. So, Alicia, you answered your question. I keep saying it, and I love to see it. So, you are a very big part of our community, our show, and just, a very special person in general, Alicia. So, thank you very much for participating, asking this question that millions of people, I would say, deal with probably. So, thank you very much. Um, Joe, ready for the next one?
Alrighty.
Who is up next?
We have, for the third question, we have Rosie.
Rosie, let's pull it up. See it right? All right. Joe, do you guys see it?
Yes, we can.
All right. Hi, Dominic. Here's a question that I've been trying to figure out for years. Oh, what happened? As someone who's very active, Joe, what's going on? How can I balance protein and carbohydrates in my daily meals and still lose weight? Should there be more protein in my meals or more carbs on days that I'm running, which is about 4 days a week? Thank you so much. Very logical question, but a lot goes into it. A lot goes into it. So, okay, importance of macros and diet. So the question starts, question one, as someone who's very active, how can I balance protein and carbs in my daily meals and still lose weight? So guys, keep in your mind, no matter what phase you're in of dieting, maintenance, bulk, or a deficit, or a cut, whatever you want to call it, deficit and cut, same thing. The protein should really always be the same. When you're cutting, your protein can be higher, so it helps keep you full. That's a tactic that I do use sometimes, but yeah, so keep that in mind. And fats and carbs are what should really be adjusted when dieting and not dieting. So especially carbs. So even fat, guys, fats are an essential part of the diet. Even if you're cutting, you should still have a certain amount of fats in your diet. So what is balanced is Rosie's question. Okay. So what I just said, basically, your protein should not change. Cool. Okay. So let me use Rosie myself as an example. Okay. So before my show, I was about 180 or 84 pounds, I think a little heavier, and I cut down to a certain weight. But where the weight that I cut down was, let me say the number so it's easier to understand. So my goal in my mind was to get as lean as possible for the show. So it was under 170, let's say. Okay. So that was on the top of my mind. And that means I'm going to aim for 170 grams of protein because that's what we want to be, as lean as possible while as dense as possible. So that's one way to explain it. So basically, you should always be hitting around your body weight in protein. Okay. Just keep that in your mind, no matter what phase you're in: dieting, bulking, maintaining. Joe, do you understand? Yeah, okay. So fats, that's not in the question, but fats are very important because fats are essential for life. You literally need to consume fats to live. But on a diet, of course, does it have to be limited? Yes, guys. All right. That's for question one. So balance, how can you balance it? By knowing what you're eating, okay? Finding a calorie app to track, having a digital scale, okay? And that's how you balance it. Just really know what you're consuming. And you literally choose what you're going to eat, meal prep if you want, and balance it like that. Okay. So keep in mind always, protein should always be around body weight to zero point 0.7 per gram of protein per pound. That might have sounded confusing, but I think you understand. For example, right now I weigh 181 pounds, so I'm consuming 181 grams of protein. But let's say if I wanted to maybe bulk a little bit higher to 190, I might be eating a little bit more protein. Don't want to go too deep in that. The other part of the question, should there be more protein in my meals? Okay, I think the question was, should there be more protein or carbs in my meals prior to running on the days when running, which is 4 days a week? So that is a very, very good question. One, let me just say this. Yes, protein is essential for life, for building muscle, building bone muscle, your bones. There's collagen, protein. So yeah, protein, very important, guys. You need protein. But before a workout, before any kind of workout, protein, there's no benefit. It does not benefit a run, protein. It does not benefit a lift. It does not benefit a swim. Protein being consumed right before the activity is what I'm trying to say. So that brings me into carbohydrates. That is where carbs come in play. So I'm going to stick strictly talking about Rosie here because she runs 4 times a week. And that was her question. So let's just talk about running. So it seems as if she is a runner. Okay. Like I was saying before, and no matter what phase you're in, carbohydrates should still be your main or primary source of energy. But of course, it has to match the diet you're in. It has to match the diet. That's what I meant to say. The diet that you're in. Because if you're not consistently being in a deficit, you won't lose weight. It's very simple. So let's say Rosie is Joe. Let's picture Rosie because I'm trying to think if I've seen her as a follower. Let's imagine her as, someone that's a marathon runner, okay? 5'5", 140 pounds, all right? And she's trying to maintain, let's say. And then I'll give an example if she's trying to cut, okay? And let's say, so marathon runners, keep in mind, runners in general, high endurance athletes in general, guys, have to eat a lot of carbs in general, okay? Different than somebody like me who only competes in bodybuilding. So somebody that's a marathon runner or a triathlete, Ironman athlete, whatever, and a swimmer, they have to eat much more than me because they're burning more calories and they're using more energy, which comes from the carbs. So let's stick back to Rosie. 5'4", I said. Joe, 140 pounds, I said?
140 pounds.
140 pounds, marathon runner. So let's say her maintenance, running 4 times a week. She runs 10 miles 4 times a week, prepping for a marathon. Okay? Her maintenance could be 20, I'm not even kidding, 2,400 because of the amount of time, because of the distance she runs, how lean she already is, her size, a lot plays into it basically. All right. So that's her maintenance, let's say at 2,400. So on the days of the run, right before the run, protein and fat should not really be consumed, especially not fat. Fat does like literally the exact opposite, especially if you consume a lot of fat. Of course, a little bit is fine. Say if you're eating a post-workout run meal, okay, and it is 61 grams of carbs, 15 grams of protein, 9 grams of fat. That's fine. What I'm saying is just don't make sure it's 30 grams of carbs, 60 grams of protein, 44 grams of fat. That does not make sense. And that would actually make you feel horrible during the activity itself as well. Okay? Let's give this a turn. There we go. All right. So that is one example for if Rosie is in a maintenance, okay? And her calories are right there. So also keep in mind on the days that she's running, it's different than the days where she's resting, okay? And also the calories would have to be adjusted, of course. So, don't make it so difficult for yourself. Keep it like really look at it in like a week to week basis. That's how you should think of it, okay? Week to week basis in terms of calories, but always keep in mind the days that you're running so you can prepare for those. So for example, like what I was gonna say a fast digesting carb. That is what should be really consumed before and high endurance activity, guys. So before, a runner goes on a run, a 12-mile run, for example. My brother, I could use my brother as an example. He ran an ultra marathon, Rosie. 52. Joe, how many miles was it? 52. No. The ultra marathon, 56, I think, or 52, 56 or 52 miles. But during the entire run, first of all, he did it in 12 hours. He was consuming things, instant carbs. For example, honey, electrolytes with carbs, rice cakes, instant carbs. So it digests and your body can instantly use it as energy. Okay? Joe, let's get that off the screen. Maybe here, let me just lock it. Does it look okay?
It's good.
All right.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. So, that's just an example for a runner. All right. Now, Rosie, let's talk about if you're in a cut. Because, Joe, we don't know what phase she's in, right? We don't know if she's dieting, cutting, or bulking. So now let's talk about a diet. Okay. Let's say Rosie is that same height, but maybe she's been into it for a few months. Okay. And the weight is fluctuating. She's seeing on the scale, not really seeing consistent progress. And let's say ballpark, she was eating 2,600 calories. So she was trying to be in a deficit, let's say. So she thought maybe, Or, we could stick with 24 because remember, I just said that was a maintenance for her. But now let's say she's trying to be in a cut, but a different Rosie. Let's say a Rosie 100, I think 140 pounds for 5'4", by the way, is too heavy still. So maybe let's say 160, Joe, okay? And she wants to be in a cut, but it's not consistent progress. My co-host is calling. Joe, what happened? I'm so sorry.
The screen came on. You want me to close the laptop?
No. Oh, yeah. Can you see the bottom if it's closed, though? Or no? We don't want to see, under the desk, Joe.
No, you're still gonna be able to.
So let's leave it open on Rosie's question. Hold on. Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Good, right? Yep.
Nothing on the laptop yet.
Nothing on the laptop. Hold on. Now it's
See.
airdropping. Let's see. Now.
There we go.
All right. There we go, guys. So sorry. All right. So this is Rosie's question. iPad, please relax. There we go. Calm down. All right. So now we're looking at Rosie in a deficit. And like I said, she's not seeing consistent progress because maybe she's not tracking her calories. But besides the fact, you guys already know what I'm going to say about that. You have to consistently be in a deficit to be in a deficit. You literally have to be in a caloric deficit to lose fat. Okay. So I'm not even going to get into that. What I am going to get into, though, is the carbohydrates and the protein and the fat. What I just talked about, there's no difference in a cut. Yeah, the amount, that's it, of carbs. So Rosie, so now let's look at a perfect pre-workout meal before a cut, Joe. So I just said in her maintenance, it would be around 15 grams of protein, 10 grams of fat, and what I say, 61 grams of carbs. Let's do Rosie in a cut. Okay. And let's say she's in a cut now, following these numbers, but it's right before a run, pre-workout meal. Because that goes, that's her second question. So remember, same exact idea, but just lower carbs and lower fat a little bit. Of course, possibly 9 is already low, so not even, maybe a little bit lower, because especially if you're trying to be in a deficit, but it would be instead 15 grams of protein, 30 grams of carbs, 6 grams of fat, okay? And for every person, it's different, guys. So it depends what size you are, your activity level, if you are an endurance athlete more or a strength trainer, a bodybuilder, a power lifter, that all comes into play. So to person, it depends. All right. So Rosie, I really hope that I answered your question. And this is a fantastic question because I know many of people who really don't think about things like this. And, that's not a problem because guess what? Now you know. That's just like I tell my other people who don't know, maybe. Now you do know. So there's nothing to be upset about. Just try to get as much as you can out of really how I broke it down. Okay. And then there's not really a point, Joe, of going into if Rosie is in a bulk because it's kind of self explanatory if you think about what I was saying with the maintenance calories. Okay, Joe? So with the 2400. So it's the same thing. It would just be more carbs if it was a surplus. All right. But Rosie, beautiful question. And thank you very much. Guys, let me get into the studio a little bit. So we are not complete. And as you saw today, certain things happened. Like YouTube was supposed to be live horizontally, but for some reason, when we had it horizontally, it was showing the live vertically as it was horizontal. It was very, very confusing. So I had to figure that out. That's one thing we have to figure out. The studio still in progress. This light not working right now. It's supposed to be on. It's guys, it's okay, because I'm not stressed out. When I am, Joe, I'm grateful. Like guys, this is 6.5 months. Please understand that. Okay. So how much credit do I take? 0. How much credit does Dominic take? 0, 0, 0. It is you guys and God. That's how I see it. I'm doing what I love, guys. Just understand, like I said, to me, this is not work. Like, This is not, I don't get stressed. I don't lose my cool, because all I want to do, my number one mission is to make a difference in the world, and it will be that forever. The money, it comes with it. Ask me if I care about it. No, I don't care about it. Zero. It doesn't matter to me. But does it come with this life? Yes, it does, guys. Okay. Anyway, studio is incomplete, is not complete still. So we're gonna fill out a little bit of the rest of the wall. Probably expand on the desk in terms of Dominic, some of my, let's say, I don't want to call it merch. Joe, what should I call it? Maybe my clothing brand. That's not bad. So I have some coming ordered. I customly made it. Really nice hats, guys. I'm big on hats. I'm going to display them right in the front. And eventually, if people start, wanting to start buying them, eventually we'll start selling this as some kind of merch. I don't want to call it the word merch, but it will be in my website. And to all of my beautiful, beautiful viewers who came, thank you so much for coming. And Joe, maybe let's answer one or two questions if there are any on either platform.
Good. It's actually a very good one. This is from Osama.
Osama.
I have one question, and this has been bugging me the whole time. I'm currently 20 years old, 190 centimeters tall, and weigh at 89 to 90 kilograms. Been lifting weights.
All right, Joe.
for 3 years.
Joe, let's go through this question slowly because we're from America, so it's kind of hard to. So, Joe, tell me. So, 191 centimeters, Joe?
190.
190 centimeters. Let me convert that very quick so I can understand. Hold on one sec. And no, 190 centimeters. Hold on. I want to see how many feet that is exactly. And also the other thing that you said. Hold on, Joe. Joe, you can keep reading the question, Joe. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'll just read it from the top.
Yes.
I have one question. Again, this is from Osama. I have one question, and this has been bugging me the whole time. I'm currently 20 years old, 190 centimeters tall, weigh at 89 to 90 kilograms. Been lifting weights for about 3 years and a half. Good amount of muscle. My body fat percentage is about 16 to 18%.
Okay.
And I wanted to ask, how can I mix both lifting and running? Because I'm very interested in becoming an Ironman in the future.
What a fantastic question. So I looked it up. Okay. Thank you very much, Osama. 6'3" is 190 centimeters, by the way. Tall guy. 100 or girl. I'm so sorry. Joe, I don't know if it's a girl or a guy. Guy. All right. And 198 pounds. So he said he thinks he's about 17%, Joe. 17%, he said.
16.
I would say he's exactly accurate with that weight and height, right around there. Osama fit. I would say maybe 16 to 17. I would have to see your physique, but with that weight and height ratio, it makes sense. So yes, it's very specific. So let's go very, very specific for a second, Joe. Okay. So build muscle and run simultaneously. You, Osama, my friend, are just like my brother. He is an Ironman athlete, and he also is trying to put on size, keep muscle. So basically, you have to really individualize a schedule for yourself. So you have to understand, you really have to focus on mostly put your mind to one thing. That's what I tell my brother. So pick one thing to really, really dial in on, but also that doesn't mean you're gonna lose muscle if you choose to go, put everything into Ironman training. That doesn't mean you're gonna lose a lot of muscle. Will you sacrifice some? Possibly, but muscle memory is like this. You could get back into shape very, very easily, so don't even worry about that. But you're gonna have to really personalize your diet, your schedule. So on your high running days, really have a lot of carbs. So right now, you are slightly. I feel like you're in a good weight. Honestly, a good weight. Maybe Joe Osama wants to lose a little bit of weight. He said, or how to diet and train properly, because I think this is a good weight for the Ironman and bodybuilding right now for strength training and Ironman, Joe. So there's no question about losing weight, right? No.
He We wanted to ask how he can mix both lifting and running and cycling.
And cycling. Okay, yeah. So exactly what. Yeah, no, it's a problem. And cycling, just like I said before, Osama. So by the way, I think this weight is perfect because maybe a tiny bit lighter. My brother, he was way heavier than this when he ran, and he was way too heavy. So honestly, you're gonna feel comfortable at this weight. I would like to see your physique though. But like I said before, you're going to have to play with your carbs. So on your high endurance, high cardio days, basically high carb days, okay? But also make sure your protein is being hit consistently every single day. Now, this is in terms for keeping muscle mass, okay? Same protein goal, no matter what cardio day it is, always protein goal, protein, protein, protein. Okay. That's one. And I was going to make another point. It was literally about to come off my tongue. Right here it was in my brain. Let me think. Um, Fats. Okay. Like I said, fats, keep them low right before training, because since you're going to be an Ironman, you want to do an Ironman, you have to really prioritize the training as well, because the training is going to be like the real life event, the day of the event. You know what I mean? So, like I said before, instant carbs before any high endurance, and you don't really need, so right before, yes, but if you're going to, let's say, train a few hours later, maybe. Let's say you wake up at 9, but you have to go on a 12-mile run at 11 a.m. Oatmeal at 9:30 is fantastic. And then right before your run, you could have a banana or something, or like a little bit of honey mixed with yogurt. A little instant carb with a tiny bit of protein's okay too. So that is the advice I would give you. And I think for the most part, you understand. Osama, message me if anything on Instagram. Guys, my Instagram is at Joe right here going forward. We're going to have to pull it up when I say it. At Domenicricc, as you could see the sign right here. But Joe, if there are no more questions, I think there is one more you said, because guys, I only chose 3 questions today because these were the ones that I could really go into specificity about regarding, my topic, really expand on it. So, if there's not another question so guys, thanks for tuning in today. The Domenicricc Show. Looking forward to seeing you guys next time.
I had something. Happy
Go-
Father's Day to
Go
all the
ahead.
fathers out there. God bless everyone.
Yeah, I was gonna say that next. Joe, thank you, guys. Also, happy Father's Day to all of the fathers. Happy Father's Day to all of the grandfathers. And yeah, guys, you know how important my dad is to me. Take care of your father. I got my dad a gift. Dad, I don't know if you're watching. It's coming to the house soon. Love you, pops. See you till then. Joe, you could end it, baby.